What's up, my Vina loves? It's Miss Vina D coming to you all from Vina Entertainment News. When this whole situation with Russell Simmons came out and, someone from his past alleged that, she was forced into doing some sexual activities with him when she was underage, Kimora Lee Simmons, his ex-wife name came up a lot because she was really young when they met. They got married really young, and people were saying, why Russell loved these young girls and things like that. Now, when that young lady, the ex-model, released her statement about what Russell Simmons did to her, he did not deny meeting her. He just said that everything they did was consensual. And I think he was probably 36 at the time. So it was just like, what does a 36-year-old man want with a 17-year-old, And people were saying maybe, she's a model. She looked mature, and maybe she had makeup on and things like that, and making excuses and saying maybe she told him that she was off age. Whatever the case might be, Kimora Lee Simmons' name came out a lot because she was very, very young when they met. Okay, but she's standing up, for her ex-husband and standing by him because now it's just getting crazy. It's now up to 15, okay? And let me read what she wrote, which most of you probably already read it by now because it's on the screen. She wrote, "I'd add my voice to the chorus of those speaking out against harassment and violence in all its forms. I have known Russell for over 25 years." Now, Kimora Lee Simmons is 42 years old. Russell Simmons is 60 years old. She's saying that she's known him for over 25 years. So if you do the math, if you do the 42 and 25, that means she was 17. But she's saying over. So that means that she was below the age of 17 when she knew him. So if he's 18 years her senior, then that means he was probably in his 30s around that time when she was a teenager. And this lady saying that this happened when she was 17 and he was 30 something years old. I'm not saying that Kimora Lee writing that she's known him for over 25 years to mean they were dating when she was underage. I'm just saying it still doesn't help the situation because, like I said, her name came up a lot. Yes, they got married when she was 23, so she was off age, but back then, and like I said, Russell also didn't deny being with a young lady at the age of 17, but he said that it was consensual. And the issue is, what does a 30-something-year-old man want with a 17-year-old? And, she was a young model, so was Kimora Lee. So people are saying that part, that I've known Russell for over 25 years, in this situation, the age gap and all of that probably wasn't a great move. However, how is it not a great move? Like, just because you've known someone that long doesn't mean that you guys have something going on sexually. You know what I'm saying? She could have known him for a long time, in that world of modeling, and they started working together because she's a model, and then that relationship developed into something more. And when she became of age in her 20s, they got married. So you can't just say because someone knew someone that long, that means, yeah. We were close friends, married, divorced, and have remained friends, co-parents, and partners through it all. These allegations against him are nothing like the person I have known in all that time. I have known him to be caring and a supportive father and someone who has worked tirelessly to uplift this enfranchised community. Okay, this is a pivotal moment in which men are being held accountable for their abuses of power and denigrating behavior towards women in all spheres. As a mother of 2 daughters, I believe that no one should ever be shamed or portrayed as an unreliable witness to their own experience for speaking up. Nor should anyone be condemned legally without due process and a fair trial. Amen, sis. My sincere hope is that anyone faced with harassment or assault, report it to their organization and or law enforcement. Though I understand that in many cases this may not be possible, I remain committed as always to fighting injustice and inequality in all its forms. God bless. Now that I put my baby down. I don't know Russell Simmons personally, so who am I to be like, oh, they're lying? Absolutely not. Okay? So we live in a day and age where it's like you could lose everything. You could lose everything you worked so hard for just based on someone saying you did something. There's no evidence. There's nothing. A random person can walk up the street and say, you know what? XYZ groped me in the bar. And as long as they can place you in the bar with XYZ, they don't even have to place you in the bar. You don't even have to, before you even get to paperwork and trying to prove that you travel in that area, companies are firing people left and right. People's names are being tarnished. So absolutely not. I'm not taking up for Russell Simmons. I'm just saying when people lie, it takes away from the people who are really and truly abused and who are really going through things. It takes away from those people, man. And it just discredit everything. And it's so sad, you know? So I appreciate and admire the strength of women coming out and saying, we are fighting back, you know, and all of that. I get it, but it's so scary that anyone can just be sitting down and say, you know what? I'm bored. I'm really bored. I need this spotlight. I'm just going to say me too. And you know what I'm saying? Those are the people I'm talking about. I'm not talking about women who's really going through this and are going through it. I'm talking about those people, you know? And I would talk about my story. Before I talk about my story, what I also think is going on is this. A lot of people back then, they didn't know or was educated on sexual assault or if something is not right or harassment or whatever. And then as they think about it, they're like, based on the description of this, I think that's what was going on. So I also think that's what's going on now. A lot of people did not, even though they were not, certain parts of their private areas were not touched. But if they were touched or groped inappropriately, and back then where they felt like, oh, no big deal, you just touched me and walked away, ha ha ha. Now that they know the definition, I think now that's where it's like, oh, now that I think about it, me too. So I think that's also what's going on with all of these people coming out and saying, oh, I was groped, I was touched, I was this, because back then it just felt like, no big deal. Also back then, and not even back then, now, there are some people that when their bosses approach them or say certain things, they laugh because they think they're flirting. Like, oh, he's so cute. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, no big deal. And then they move on and they're like, oh, that was sexual harassment. Oh, certain people on the job is probably like, he's just flirting with me. You know, he just smiled, no big deal, nothing happened, we didn't kiss, we didn't do nothing. And they move on with their life, right? And then they grow up and they're like, oh, yes, I was sexually harassed at work because there was this one person who will always make these comments and make these jokes and, you know, walk by me and, you know, touch my hand a certain way or do something. So I also think that's what's happening as well. When you see some of these people are older now and they're saying these things happened 25 years ago, 30 years ago, they probably didn't know what was going on in that moment and just thought it was normal. That's what was supposed to happen. And then you also have the people who intentionally went there and did certain things for the come up, but now wants to screaming too. There are people who say, you know what? This is the guy? Oh, this is the guy that can help my career go to a different level? Oh, sure. I'm going to go ahead and pull my female charm and I'm going to go ahead and do certain things in hopes that it will get me to where I need to go. And then now feeling the guilt that, man, I can believe I did all that to myself just to get to the top and now screaming me too. You know what I'm saying? So you have all different parts of the story. People who it really happened to, who I empathize with, and you're in my prayers. People who it happened to, but had no clue that this is what was going on, and now that they know the definition and what it is, they're like, oh, me too. And then people who did things on their own and just want to jump on the bandwagon, like I said, you can't say someone is jumping the bandwagon if you were not there. So absolutely in no way am I shaming females for speaking up. No, guys. Don't even go there and say, oh, Miss Vina is supporting. Absolutely not. I support and stand with every woman who's been abused, and trust me, I've had some things happen in my life as well. So I stand with every woman who's screaming me to, and who things, have happened to. I'm talking about those bad apples, right? The ones who nothing happened to, and not saying, I'm taking this for a joke. There are people that are really going through it, traumatic events, and they are still traumatized to this day. And there are also people out there who think this is a joke. So I'm going to throw one more point in here. Then I'm going to move on. For those of you who watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, I do, review on here about them. For those of you who were saying, oh, Kenny, please stop crying. Phaedra didn't say nothing bad. No. Now you see why Kenny did what she did? Once people attach rapist or anything to your name, it's over for you. And that's why Kenny cried and did what she did, because someone said that she was about to drug and rape someone. That is serious. You can joke, you can laugh, we can read each other, we can have fun on this show, but to stoop to that level because you're mad and want to destroy someone, that is just disgusting on so many levels. So I'm going to uplift, and pray for all of these women, that are going through it. And also Russell Simmons, he stepped down from his company that he's worked so hard to build, and he's going through it, and so are the women. So hopefully he doesn't start paying money to anybody and resolving any case. Let the justice and department and the police and whoever, let them handle it. You have your day in court and get vindicated, because you paid Sarah number 1 and Becky number 2. They gonna keep coming. So if you're saying everything was consensual, I didn't do any of this, people are lying, I was there and it's my truth. It's like, why are you believing her truth but not my truth? Then go to court, fight, provide her evidence, let her provide hers, and get vindicated and clear your name. Don't give no one a dime, because then that means you're guilty. Don't give anyone a dime to say, I'm going to pay this person and make it go away. Because as you can see, they always come back. Ask Bill Cosby. He's paid people before. So I'm just saying, if you're saying it's a lie and you want your fans and people to believe you, then don't settle out of court and pay anybody. Go to court, have your day in court, get vindicated. And just because someone go to court and gets vindicated doesn't mean it's the truth either. We've seen it all the time. The cops go ahead and kill an African American man and they walk. So you know what I'm saying? So it's all around just a tricky conversation, man. But that's what Kimora Simmons had to say about her ex-husband. She's standing by him, and I completely understand. She's been with the man for a long time. She knows the man and all of that. But in the case of Russell Simmons being around young girls and all of that, that part we're not going to turn a side eye to that, because he does, and there's nothing wrong with. Like, I just did a episode on The Bachelor and talked about the guy in the front runner being the 14 years difference. So as long as the person is of legal age, I guess, do you, my loves. I'm wishing you all an amazing day. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.